Hello teacher, I will read 3.3 framework for tractor driver. We provide a visual framework for supply chain decision making. Most companies begin with the competitive strategy and then decide that their supply strategies out to be. The supply chain strategy determine how the supply chain should perform with respect to efficiency and responsiveness. The supply chain must then use the three logistical and three cross-functional drivers to reach the performance level. The supply chain strategy display and maximize the supply chain profits. Although this framework is generally will from the top down in many instances. A study of a sick driver may indicate the need to change the supply chain strategy and potentially even the competitive strategy. Consider this framework using Walmart as an example. Walmart competitive strategy is to be reliable, low-cost retailer for a wide variety of mass consumption goods. This strategy displays that the ideal supply chain with emphasize efficiency but also maintains an adequate level of responsiveness in terms of product availability. One must use the three logistical, the three cross-functional drivers effectively to achieve this type of supply chain performance. With the inventory driver, one must maintain an efficient supply chain by keeping low level of inventory. For instance, one must pioneer cross-docking system in which inventory is not stocked in the warehouse but rather is shipped to store from the manufacturer with the brief stop at the distribution center, where product transfer from inbound truck from the supplier to outbound truck to the retail store. This lowers inventory significantly because products and stock only the store, not at all store and warehouses, which repack to inventory. Walmart's faster efficiency over responsiveness. On the transportation front, Walmart runs its own fleet to keep responsiveness high. This increase transportation costs, but the benefits in terms of reduced inventory and improved product availability justify this cost in the Walmart's case. In the case of the facility, Walmart use centrally located DC within its network of stores to decrease the number of facilities, increase efficiency. As its DC, one must build retail store only where the demand is sufficient to justify having several items parked by the DC, thereby increasing efficiency of the transportation asset. One must have invested significantly more than its competitor in information technology, allowing the company to fit demand information across the supply chain to supplier and manufacturer only was it being demanded. As a result, Walmart is the leader in its use of the information driver to improve responsiveness and decrease inventory investment, which relate to sourcing driver. One must identify efficient source of its product to sell. One must fit them order, allowing them to be effective by exploiting economy of scale. Finally, for the pricing driver, one must practice everyday low pricing for X order to this ensure that customer demand stay steady and do not fluctuate. It rise variation the entire supply chain, then focus on meeting the demand in an efficient manner. Walmart's view on the supply chain driver to achieve the right balance between responsiveness and efficiency show a competitive strategy and supply chain strategy in the harmony. We devote the next six session to a detailed discussion of each of three and three cross-functional drivers their role in the supply chain and the impact on financial performance.